All right, people. So we're back here with another, I guess, watch podcast. Or
I guess so.
I don't know
we still
yet.
Don't got a name, bro.
We had no name yet. I'd rather just make it interesting than just have an interesting name, right?
Yeah.
Some of these podcasts have like a great name, not so great content. But so right now we're in the beginning of March. We just started 2023. And usually what March says to me every year, unlike normal people, is going to be, you know, we got the new Rolexes coming out. Or what will Rolex come up with next? I guess is the biggest question, and what we are expecting to see. Actually, I just had recently one of my latest YouTube videos that just came out was about, usually I would do a prediction video. Those were kind of like a pretty cool trend and a cool concept for years, except nowadays I find it so impossible to guess what will they do next.
It's only so many mock-ups and so many things and variations you can do with these pieces. We did miss out last year with the rose gold blue Prezi.
Yeah, that's a winner.
That would have been a banger, bro.
Yeah, the rose gold blue, have to get that one. Mm-hmm. I know. And it'll have like a good contrast, with the anniversary green dial. Yeah. So it'd have like two total different, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
I agree. But I don't know, man. We're going to see what they're going to come out with this year. Some leaks. I don't know. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, they already finally just hit us in the face with this. Because in reality, I feel like they don't release the watches anymore at Watches and Wonders. They just kind of like blow them out via Instagram or whatever. Then you get to finally see the hands-on the next day. All the bloggers got their hands all over them, I guess that would make me too if I was there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd hella touch them, But the problem is that, I don't know, maybe by then they'll already be out. But right now at this moment, some pictures came out, which this happens every year, by the way. There's the leaks. Mm-hmm. Which are they real leaks?
Yeah, where you guys getting these leaks from?
Well,
who's the source?
Listen, a couple years ago, legit leaks came out. But then also last year, there was some Photoshop leaks, which were more like misleaks.
Yeah.
Misleaks.
Like the yellow gold 41 green sub. That was a miss, a huge one.
Well, no. That's right. That right now, that is what the leak is. A yellow 41 green sub anniversary. I cannot stand any more anniversary watches right now. Like, we need to start a petition that says anniversaries and watches. Like, I'm done with it. The problem is that we're, like even on my latest video, it's like, well, Eric, you didn't mention anything about the 70th anniversary of the Explorer because no one cares.
Yeah.
I mean, what we want is just some nice watches. I think anniversary editions for watches are special when they make it special, not when there's one every goddamn year. Mm-hmm. That's just the way I feel. But, however, for example, so there's a leak of the yellow gold green dial, which I kind of put that as one of my predictions about 2 years ago because I thought back then maybe that would be something I would predict. This year, I kind of did a wish list, what I wish they did. And the yellow gold green dial is not something that I would wish to see. I'm not saying I'm going to hate it. I'm not saying that I won't sell it. I'm not saying that, if you get me one cheap enough, I wouldn't get one myself. But I do kind of feel that a yellow gold green dial right now, I don't know if I'll like it, man. Green on green.
Green right now is, I'm not going to say played out, but it is definitely watered down. Every brand has a green dial, and they are pushing it to the death. It's like they're shoving it down your throat. And I do agree. Green right now, I think we're just ready for a new color,
Or just
don't touch them at all.
Or maybe,
how about that?
I mean, look, I don't think we should also not have any new watches either, where it's like boring. But it'd be a tough ass job to be right now making these decisions up there.
Yeah, that should be horrible.
It's like, what do we do now? Gee, I think themselves, they're almost kind of like, oh my God, what do we do now? I guess send out the green sub, It's like an easy fix. But I'm hoping, look, that one doesn't bother me that much. I think that leak that shows the meteorite with the ceramic bezel, it's going to take some time for that to really
I don't like the ceramic bezel on the full bracelets on the Daytonas. To me, the contrast to the bezel and the bracelet, it's just a little too much. I prefer it better on the Oyster Flex because you have the black band on the Oyster Flex. It helps. It tones it down. It's just too much, in my opinion. It stands out a bit too much. It's not it.
You know, that's exactly the way that I feel about it. As much as I loved it when it first came out on the leather strap, and it was like, oh my God, the ceramic bezel, it looks really cool. But when you see that picture, it's not the same. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's kind of how an all rose gold Yachtmaster will look with that bezel. Maybe that's not the best example because the Daytona, I don't know, man. I feel like that black bezel on the all gold bracelet, maybe I'm just so used to the look, the look of the precious metal. And for example, the old school vintage Daytonas, when they had that black, bezel ring, although the insert was black, it still had the outer part in gold. So it kind of gave it like different, where this is like the whole bezel is black.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's no doubt that people are going to love it and it'll probably sell. Personally, I just think that if it's not broke, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Can't reinvent the wheel, bro. That's what it is. When you get when you get to that point where you're trying to stretch ideas and make things work, like basically force feed it, you can tell and you can see it in the manufacturing of the watch. Maybe the design someone had, they had a vision and there are people out there. Now, don't get me wrong. When you made that post, people in the comments were happy about the ceramic bezel on the Daytona for the mock-ups at least. They do have people who will love those pieces. That's why they make so many of them. But me personally, I just feel as if that's a little bit too much, man. It takes away from the classiness of the Daytona. I think it's gonna make the bezel look way too busy. I personally do not like it at all.
Yeah, I understand the whole durability thing because, with the gold Daytonas, it's extra sensitive.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
But I also think that that's part of the thing about it. It's almost like it's a challenge to drive a Ferrari if you're going to drive it daily and take care of it and not screw it up. And I feel like that's what should come with the gold Daytona.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I don't know. Anyways, let's also talk about, would it be wrong or would they actually do it finally and is maybe give us a sub with an Oyster Flex strap?
We talked about this one morning. I wouldn't hate it. There's been countless subs that we've sold and we've put in horse straps on and we put rubber bee straps on, and it gives the watch a complete different look. It gives the consumer a complete different wear. You feel as if you can do a little bit more without worrying about messing up the bracelet or anything like that. But I personally do like it. It is a nice one. We are reaching and we are wishing. We definitely are, but I think it would be cool. It'd be a nice little twist.
Just picture this. Picture the white gold Cookie Monster, or if that's what we're calling it.
Bruise,
right?
Cookie Monster, yeah,
okay,
whatever.
Picture the white gold Cookie Monster on an Oyster Flex. I think personally that would be a hit.
Very nice.
And it'll look amazing.
Yeah.
Now, would that really be, because Rolex has to do things in some way or another with purpose, whereas the Yachtmaster, they'll put it on an Oyster Flex strap because technically the Yachtmaster is not really meant to be a diving watch. So, whereas if you put an Oyster Flex on a Submariner, which is quote unquote made for diving, would that be, practical? If you understand what I'm saying? Like they don't just put stuff because we want it.
Yeah,
It has to have a function and
Correct.
a real function and all that.
Yeah, I don't see where the Oyster Flex will come into play to give you a different function or a different setting that you can wear the watch for. I just think that it'll help with the sportier look.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can dress it down easier. Don't get me wrong, a sub you can wear anywhere, anytime, with anything. But the Oyster Flex strap, it'll just add a little bit more pizzazz to it,
Yeah, I agree. And then now look, this is like we've entered the Jubilee era. And Jubilee era, and like they're just jubileeing everything. And I don't hate it. At first I was a little bit apprehensive when they drop the Jubilee, for example, on the Sky Dweller. I mean, it would only make sense. But when it comes to the GMT, right now, the options that we have do look a little bit crowded. We got the Pepsi, then we got the Batman. Now we have the Lefty, although the Lefty is completely different. Agreed. And all three of these models are available in Oyster or Jubilee, whereas, for example, the root beer, as of right now, is only Oyster, which it would not surprise me if they just go ahead and just sprinkle a little bit Jubilee in there. There you go. Now you got the two-tone, root beer in Jubilee.
I think I would like to see that in full rose.
The Jubilee full rose.
I think I would like that.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get there. Absolutely, I agree. But I think it's time we get a black GMT back. We need that, and specifically maybe even one on Jubilee. You're actually wearing one that we set up the other day with, which is, by the way, it's not that easy to adapt that Jubilee bracelet onto it, but it can be done. You just need a set of very specific pins because these guys know what they're doing, man. They really make it impossible for you to try to switch around bracelets and stuff like that.
They think of everything, bro.
Everything. They try to put every roadblock possible.
Yeah.
But when you see that alone, like I've been wearing that watch here and there, and it's like I've wanted to wear it more than a Pepsi Jubilee and a Batman Jubilee. Do you agree?
Yeah. So for me, between the Pepsi and the Jubilee, the Pepsi and the Batman, I prefer the Batman on Oyster and the Pepsi on Jubilee. Bro, when we did this thing, this blows both of them out of the water. Hands down.
The crazy part is that I prefer both the Batman and the Pepsi on Oyster, but I prefer the black on Jubilee right now.
Yeah, this thing's nice, bro. It's definitely one of the favorites that we've experimented. In my personal opinion, that's turned out the best. Walking down the street, the day we put this thing on, bro, I think we took it to a couple people, and you got stopped a handful of times, and people want to know what's up, what's on the wrist.
Yeah, people saw it and they realized, and they were like, "Oh!" I try to pull the joke, it's the new one, but that doesn't work anymore because now when the new one comes out, that only worked like.
Yo, you called it though. When you did the Starbucks back in the day, or the Kermit, whatever you want to say, when you swapped the insert.
Yeah, but back then I was able to like clown around with people because, nowadays everything is like boom in your face. Instagram. This is the new Rolex model, so you're not gonna like sneak it by them and be like, "Oh, check out the new one they released." They're looking at you like, "Dude, I didn't see it." I didn't see it on Instagram. Yeah. So, and then obviously it would only be natural to get a modern case, ceramic bezel with the maxi case in yellow gold. Rose gold would be a plus, which I kind of think, the more I think about it, it'd be hard,
Bro, the rose on Jubilee would really be hard.
Yeah, although there's something about that rose GMT that although I love it, I tend to not really wear them.
Let me tell you something. Over time, when you wear the Jubilees still, obviously still, is it just me? Because a daily for me is a Datejust 41 black stick on Jubilee.
Shout out to the Datejust.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the Datejust, baby. We all start somewhere. Is it me, or over time, the steel Jubilees, obviously from wear and tear, gravity, you get a little bit of lag and playing the bracelet, but over time, it gets a little more flimsy. I feel like a gold one will really hold up.
No? It'd probably wear out faster, but remember, in true Rolex over-engineering fashion, they're going to drop ceramic pins, ceramic bushings on all the damn pins, and it'll probably like last to the test of time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They won't do it on steel, but they'll do it on a gold. They have to.
Yeah. They have to. This thing's nice, bro.
There's no doubt about that. And I guess, we're hoping these are the watches that I would like. I'm sure that 99, years ago I would do these prediction videos, and it was like, guys, I'm just predicting what I hope they come out with. And then people will be like, your predictions are all wrong.
Yeah,
and it's
take
like,
it as gospel.
And it's like, then why don't you do them? Why don't you predict what the heck, since you got a damn crystal ball, Mr. The Watch Nostradamus over here, But anyways, one of the things that I think we need at this point, that there's no exception, is we should have a glide lock at this point. I mean, for the amount they charge for these watches at retail, okay, why can't, we're done with the Easy Link. Shit's bullshit.
Yeah.
When you have the glide lock, they should have the glide lock on every model except the Jubilee and the presidential bracelets.
What puzzles me the most, why do some Oyster Flex Daytonas come glide and some don't?
I agree. Well, now the modern Jubilees have a class where you could do the glide lock. But yes, I don't understand why. There's no rhyme or reason to this yet. Maybe they're just using them up. But I have seen, and you have seen too, where there are some brand new watches. I'm talking about fresh. Some will have the glide lock. Some will have the Easy Link.
It doesn't make sense, man. And it's an easier product for the consumer to understand.
Yeah.
How many times have we sat there and tried to explain to someone how to fold the teeth over on the Easy Link?
Oh my
and they don't understand. Like, I'm not trying to dish the consumer. It is a hard concept if you don't know anything about it, but it's just so difficult to teach to someone who has no idea what it is. And the glide lock is effortless. It's an instant adjustment. You don't have to worry about I don't have my screwdriver set to modify my bro. No one walks around with that. The glide lock is just an easy fix. It's headache free. You already have the patent. Just slap it on all of the sports models.
Yeah, I can't have a watch on that's too tight. It just bothers me. Everybody wears it different, and it's great to have that fine adjustment because the glide lock has a more fine adjustment than the Easy Link.
Yeah, that happened to me at your wedding. Yeah, it's a sad story to say.
Yeah, what happened there?
I wore the Prezi, bro. And I'm getting ready, and it was cold in the crib, and wrist wasn't swollen. I wasn't swollen at all, so it just felt a little big. You know, I like my watches to not move, bro.
Yeah.
By the time the ceremony started, bro, I had to open it up.
That's a bad sign.
I had to open it up, bro. I was like,
when you got to open up the watch, it's a bad sign.
Yeah, 100%. I played myself that day. Rookie mistake, but it won't happen again. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it happens, man. But, damn, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. And maybe by the time this, whole video gets edited and everything, maybe we'll already have the final, releases. But like I said, I have a feeling that there's going to be something this year. I don't know what it is yet, but I feel like there's something that's going to really, I guess, shock us. Last year, the biggest shock was the lefty, honestly.
How much has that grown on you?
I like the colors.
Okay.
I like the colors. I love the colors, actually. I really like that color combination. And I like the idea that it could be a collector's item, although even when I get one in my hand and I put it on or I stare at the face, it still seems very strange to me.
Yeah, because it's our brains. You're so used to seeing the Cyclops on the right side. When we just sold one recently. When we put it away in the box, you put it upside down. The Cyclops on the right side. It happens all the time. You're just used to it, man. It is what it is.
I agree. I've already done that several times. I'm just like in a hurry, not staring at the box directly. And then I'll go ahead and put the watch back in the normal orientation because that's just what you're used to.
Yeah. To go back to the wish list, bro, the only piece on that wish list that I do not like, and I pray to God they don't make it, the Daytona on Jubilee, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
Please.
I don't think they're gonna do that though.
I really hope they don't, bro. It'll ruin that watch. People are already complaining that it's a girl's watch. When you slap a Jubilee on there, it's so gone. It's no coming back from that.
Nah, I don't. Wait, did you just say people think that Daytona's a girl watch?
A lot of people, yeah, because it wears small, bro.
Nah, that's because they're just big. I mean, I'll tell you what though. Daytona is probably the watch. I mean, I bet you I can do a social experiment. I mean, actually, I've done it for 12 years, 12, 13 years selling watches. I've seen it firsthand. Women come in, they see all these options, and the one they gravitate towards is the Daytona. They love the Daytona. But yeah, I guess for some people where that the Daytona wears kind of small, it does feel like a women's watch, but don't ever say that again.
I like the Daytona, bro.
I know, man, I know. So anyways, on to other things. Enough about Rolex and the way they play us with all these releases every year. The next thing I want to talk about, since we're still discussing releases, is I feel like AP just lately just releases watches whenever they feel like it. They
Let me
just
see what they drop.
they just come out with new lineups and all these new pieces. They don't even say anything.
The last bullshit that we saw that they did the surprise drop was the rainbow.
Oh yeah, when they
Those-
had those full
Yeah, man.
iced out rainbow watches. So they came out with a bunch of new models, okay? And some of them are nice, some of them are not so nice in my personal opinion.
Ooh.
The first one that I like is the new 16202 BC white gold. It's got that nice texture on the dial. You see, that's something that I like. I think that's going to be a definitely a nice one. Some of the ones that I know are going to be hits, but I'm not sure if I'm really feeling them, is, for example, the Chronos, with the blue, look at this. I mean, listen, they're
What
nice.
is it, 38?
No, I'm under the impression it's a 41 millimeter. So they came out with a bunch of these watches, and yes, of course, they're nice, and they're limited to 25. Here we go again now with the limitations.
That's a 41.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're limited pieces, except for the blue one, doesn't say limited. But look, I like them. I think I feel like the thing that worries me the most about right now, all these brands, is the unlimited amount of options. I'm not saying we should just have barely any options. I just think as we come out with more options, we got to eliminate previous options.
I agree.
That's my only thing. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm sure they'll sell. I'm sure, one thing is a mock-up. Another thing is when you see it in your hand, you're like, damn, there's been several times that there's watches I don't like, but then when you get them in your hand, you like them. Right? Hasn't that happened to you?
The Sprite, prime example.
Yeah. When you see it in your hand, it's a total different thing. So I would say that one of the few watches that really stood out to me when I saw them and I said, damn, these are actually pretty nice, is that AP released a couple of 42 millimeter offshores in all ceramic.
I saw those. Those were pretty nice, bro. I like them a lot.
Those, I'm going to pull them up right now on Google.
I like them a lot.
Those actually, that's something that actually I feel, I don't know why they took so long to do that.
Because the offshores, and look, I'm gonna be careful here. Don't come at me out here. Out here, the viewers, don't come at me. The offshore has been dying lately, and when I say dying, that shit's dead, basically.
No, I don't know about dead because people still buy them, obviously. Just I've noticed that lately people are buying smaller watches.
Yeah.
Because I've always felt that the offshore is like before, maybe not now, it was like the gateway drug into the brand.
Yeah.
Not because you'd go to the boutique and they'd force you to buy it, but just because it's one of those watches that aesthetically has a lot of cool factors. It's got all the sharp lines, the thick rubber seal under the bezel. Those are the things that I loved. And for example, when you see the remake of the Beast, which was the original dial configuration of the AP, for example, look at this. I'm surprised it took them that long to come out with an all ceramic 42. It's a good looking watch.
Now, what's retail on it? Maybe that's why.
I have no idea, but I think nowadays when you're selling stuff that's so out of control, I don't think it really matters anymore.
You can put a price tag on it. It'll sell.
I'm just saying, I don't think that's the issue right now. But for example, they got this new yellow gold with that Tiffany dial.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. I mean, I think it's pretty hot looking. It's obviously going to be, I don't think it's a 41 from what I gathered. I think it's a 37 millimeter.
Yeah, it's not even a 39. It has to be smaller.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's a small, yes, 37 millimeter. And I can't wait for the guy to buy that one and swear that it fits him right. But whatever, to each its own. The beautiful thing about it is that it's a turquoise stone as opposed to just like, slapping a little Tiffany paint on it and calling it a day. So I like that. As far as the code collection,
The stainless steel ones are nice.
yes, look, man, I agree. I think they're nice. I've said this over and over. I think when it comes to the code 1159, the name is it's
What is it about that you
It's-
don't like?
dude, it's and it's like, just like sound it out in your head right there. Oh, I have a code 1159. What the is that? Like, why couldn't it have been like, oh, I got the new oak collection or the new 1159. Oh, I got the new code. They should just name the code. I don't understand. I don't think in a marketing standpoint, okay, the name code 1159 is any good. I'm just telling you right now. I feel like how many watches have you liked and said I don't like the name?
Not many.
Think about that. Think
Not
about
many.
it really quick. I
Not
mean, there's
many.
some weird ass brands. Like, we're not talking about the brand name.
Yeah, you're talking about the watch
The model.
The watch model. Not many.
Yeah, exactly. I can't think of too many watches where I think where the first thing that comes to my head is that's a stupid ass name. And then the second that they launched the code 1159, I'm like, the is that? What is that?
Do you like the watch aesthetically?
Aesthetically, I like the watch. I'm not saying I have any in my collection or I'm dying to own one. I think my favorite one, and this is one that I will have. I think I will have it one day when it's available pre-owned and things have come by. Not paying retail for this thing or above retail or anything of that nature. I need to pay way above retail when it's at a discount. Is the Code 1159 that has the black onyx dial, no numbers, and just a turb. I think that, and then it's
super clean.
Yeah, and then it's got like a cool strap that's like most of the codes have like a Kevlar. I like that. I like the way it looks.
I'm not a fan of the Kevlar straps.
No?
Nah, not me. Me personally. Even the on the RMs, the Ronald McDonald.
Yeah. Well, you don't like it?
No, bro.
I mean, look, I feel that the Code 1159 is a modern version of a dress watch where nowadays dress watches are starting to be more and more worn with sweatpants and a hoodie. I'm just giving you an example. Like, not dressed and more sporty. So with that strap, it kind of like blends nice. I also like that the case design and the lugs are kind of skeletonized. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not, I like that. So it just looks like a futuristic dress watch, but they went too futuristic with the name, kind of like Elon Musk's kids' names.
Yeah. What is his kid's name?
You can't say it, bro.
Yeah, what is it?
Don't even try. We don't know what it is. And then Code 1159. I'm just saying. At this point, it's too late. Can't change it.
Yeah, you can't. It's they're way too far in the production.
We got the Royal Oak. It would have been okay with just calling this the Oak Collection. Okay.
Yeah.
But the code. I think it's the word code that just pisses me off.
Yeah, the 1159 would have been fine.
I'm not sure what exactly is it that they were going with, but from there, I guess we're just gonna move on. And the next thing I want to talk about is the brand Jasob Co. So Jasob Co. is a very interesting brand right now. I mean, Jasob Co. is a brand that at times I feel is pushing the envelope crazy. And
How exactly? Because, bro, the amount of pieces that they come out with, the artwork behind them is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, look, they're crazy. And, I've been thinking about this lately, and I feel that, for example, the partnership that they have with Bugatti is actually a perfect pairing, because what I see lately is that I like to always mirror things with cars or relate to them. You're going to have guys that collect only Porsches and Ferraris, that they only believe in Ferrari. Yeah. They have $100 million in Ferraris, won't own a single Bugatti. And I feel that it's the same with watches. There's going to be people that will have all Patek and Rolex. Yeah, never buy a Jasob.
Never touch a Jasob, yeah.
I don't, there's no rhyme or reason to any of this.
Maybe it's because Jasob, it's so hard to get in with them.
Yes, but I also, it's just taste. You know, I compare, the reason I was going to say earlier that I compare lately Jacob to a brand like Bugatti is because Bugatti is, when you compare a Bugatti to some of the Ferraris, for example, like the Bugatti is ridiculously overdone and engineered like to a next level. I mean, they're crazy, you know.
Overdone in a bad way, or you just saying
No,
it's
no,
just-
overdone in a good way.
Okay.
But that can be interpreted then into taste. Some guy might not like that. The guy will look at look, for example, the other day I was at the Miami Concourse here, you know, the show, and I was staring at this crazy ass Bugatti there. All right. It's the Devo. Out of control. Fucking thing looks like a spaceship. Clearly it's,
How much is that car?
I think it's about $5 million. Clearly it's more powerful. Clearly it's more futuristic. Clearly has more design, everything than the Enzo parked next door. I would take the Enzo though.
Yeah, the Bugatti is
And
too
it has
much
nothing,
of
it
a-
had nothing to do with the brand, by the way.
Do you think the Bugatti is too much of a you car?
Well, yes, it is. And that's where I'm saying that I feel that sometimes the Jacob is the fuck you watch. It's like when you want something, okay, it's like a Pagani also. The Paganis are just so crazy.
Yeah, you won't even want to touch. You just want to look at it.
Well, yeah, that's the way I feel about the Jacobs. I mean, when you sit there and you grab some of these watches in person, which I've been lucky enough to, you know, I've done several times. I guess if I was in the position to buy one of these watches, I'd be buying it like artwork at this point. It's almost like the next level after watches. I'm not saying horology. I'm just talking about, you know, as a, I don't know, as a hobby, asset, whatever you want to call it, man. It's like a whole nother dimension already. It's like they're crazy, you know. Again,
You're not getting into that unless you are absolutely a don.
look, they're not for everybody. Some people are gonna say, not for me. Too extreme. For example, a Pagani might appear to be too extreme for some people, or a Koenigsegg, or a Bugatti. But I guess Jacob is doing something right if we're categorizing them, you know, in that level. Yeah. There's going to be the people in the comments that are going to sit there and they're going to say, you know, Jacob is I guess, you know, because like they did the 5-time, you know, watch back in the day. Well, you know, Lamborghini was making fucking tractors.
Yeah.
Lamborghini was making tractors. Okay.
So what do you know?
Exactly. So I understand that. And they're very at point gaudy. Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Isn't a Bugatti gaudy?
That was a tongue twister. Yeah.
Isn't a Pagani gaudy?
Yeah.
Which when you look at a Ferrari Enzo, it's more refined. But you get a Pagani from the same year or whatever, it's just more gaudy. Again, it's all just tastes and, you know, imagine when you're Pagani and you're trying to compete with Ferrari. What do? You
got to go above and beyond.
You got to go above and beyond. And that's what I feel Jacob has done to be able to compete and create their whole new lane. Like,
yeah,
it's like
that's exactly what I was going to say. They have their own lane because no one is doing the shit that they do.
Correct. You know, there's other brands that have done.
Maybe you can say a couple RMs can compete with the complexity of Jacob.
RM is different because if I had to put them in a showroom floor as cars, RM would be an F1 car. Absolutely.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
100%. The technology that they have into it and the testing, it's an F1 car. It's not even like it's on a whole nother plane.
Yeah, if you want to look at the materials they use, the light and tough materials
there is no, it looks, and by the way, they look so completely radical to all the other cars, which is why if you line them up there, it would be F1 car for Richard Mille. Looks completely different than a Bugatti and an Enzo or a LaFerrari. Like, the F1 car is like, what the heck is this? You know, and that's what a Richard Mille looks like when you see someone with these badass features, and then all the technology and all the metal and like all this crazy stuff that they have, and all the testings. You know, that's kind of like the way that I feel that's how Jacob was able to create their own lane. It's just let's just go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I want to look at some of the new watches that just came out this week. I got to pull it
There's
up
gonna
here.
be some mind blowing pieces, 100%. How was the boutique when you went in New York the other day? By the
Oh
way?
man, it's awesome. I got to see. I got to go meet up there with a friend of mine, which he's obviously someone very important over there, and that family's done a great job to build that. When you really look at it, I mean, you could say that you could sit there and you could say whatever you want, and all the watch snobs can sit there and say whatever they want about oh Jacob this, but when you really sit down and look at it, it's like they're
From
doing
where they started to where they are now, and the things that they've gone through,
they're doing big things.
huge.
I mean, I got there, and when I looked at the boutique, the first thing I said was, first of all, this boutique is beautiful. It's out of control. Location is amazing. Then I told him, I said, damn, what a flex right next to Richard Mille. And his answer was, no, actually, we were here first. We've been here for 20 years. Richard Mille moved next to us. And I was like, damn.
That's a boss move. Yeah.
So I thought to myself, okay. And, something I was going to mention there was that, there will be other watches that have like all these crazy functions, like the Grabel 4Cs and like, bro, I mean, those watches are also pieces of art, works of art. There's all these other brands as well that will have all these other complications and all this crazy stuff. But I feel that what Jacob has done is just mixed more art into horology.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And the couple examples that I was gonna say of the RM, you hit it on the head. I didn't see where the analogy was going with the F1 comparisons, but I can't agree with that. I'll take back my last statement. I got you.
I mean, listen, if you want to feel, if you think that it doesn't look like an F1, okay, fine then, which is fine, by the way. This is why it's an open discussion here.
Yeah.
Where would you categorize it now that I was saying that I feel at least that Bugatti is Jacob, for example, Ferrari is Patek, okay? Where whatever, or Ferrari is AP or whatever. What would you put then, Jacob, in a car? This is gonna be hard.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, not Jacob. Sorry.
Yeah,
Richard Mille. RM.
Yeah, bro. If you really break it down and you look at what they make these things out of and the purpose of them, you can't compare it to anything else. I just didn't think of it. Yeah, it makes sense.
What do you suggest?
Supercar they associate with, right?
No,
I would say the Bugatti's the
no,
supercar.
because the Bugatti is not a supercar. It's a hypercar. It's already like the next level. You know what I'm saying?
So you'd say the Ferrari is the supercar?
Ferrari is a supercar.
Okay, so you're gonna say RM's a super, and then
I mean, listen, bro. Nowadays, everybody has a hypercar out there too. Okay, because like the LaFerrari is like borderline, if probably a hypercar as well. But which is why I'm thinking, one of the most extreme watches right now in both price, everything is a Richard Mille, and then one of the most extreme cars right now in price and everything like that would be an F1 car.
Yeah.
Crazy expensive, and the amount of engineering and testing that goes behind it, and these things are freaking rockets.
Yeah.
What they do, no regular road car can perform like that. So, anyways,
Is Jacob the only company that personalizes watches and make them and produce them for people, like an individual?
no. And the reason is because now we can shift gears into another topic. They are not the only ones that will make piece uniques for you. Because, for example, Kevin O'Leary
AP is
has been
hard,
going
bro.
around with that AP.
I don't want to hate, but bro, I wish that watch went to anyone else but that guy, bro.
Why, you don't like Kevin?
I don't know him. I don't know him. I can't say I don't like him, but bro, on TV, I hate that guy.
I like him. I think he's good at what he does, and when you're sitting in his position and you got to do the job he's doing, you got to be rough like that, man.
Yeah.
You gotta hit people with the reality. You gotta tell them the truth.
Yeah, that AP's hard though.
Now look, I don't know if it's worth crying about, but then again, because he cried when he received it. But then again, Lord knows what he had to do to get that piece, so maybe it is worth crying. I mean, look, the watch is hard. Personally, it's not my favorite because I don't know, man. I'm not. Again, it's beautiful. We're just we're comparing colors of Ferraris. This color versus this color, whatever. Personally, I'd rather just have. I'm not crazy about the rubies on the face it's too much. And that red strap. Granted, you could put it on a bracelet.
Yep.
It'd probably look a lot better for me. So, and and the red needle. I think the red needle is what threw me off on that piece.
That was one of my favorite things about that one.
I think had everything stayed the same and not how they're that's just the way my eyes see it.
Is that the first AP of your knowledge that you've seen a unique one of one?
No. If you have a good enough relationship with a brand like AP, they'll do it. I'm not sure that Patek will do it. Rolex definitely won't do it.
Hell no.
Some of these brands like AP and especially like Jacob, they will make you a personalized watch, just like Pagani and all these brands will do. Like for example, Jacob made that Bugatti Chiron watch in that white ceramic,
Hard.
to match that famous YouTube guy has all the watch guys. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. I think you got to be very careful who you're going to make these pieces to, personally.
In what sense?
I mean, I don't know.
You don't want to just give them to anyone.
You got to make it very
Takes away from the value of the brand. Takes away from the value of the model. I understand what you're saying. It is cool though that they do offer that, and it is cool that they only offer it for certain select amount of people. One day, hopefully, one of us will be able to be in that seat. It will be pretty lit, But I mean,
well, if I ever had a chance to be in that seat, I would not miss. And now that I just remembered, actually, Patek it's hard. They made one for John Mayer, for example. Well, of course they did. And then there's brands like Richard Mille. I mean, I have, but I think one for Jay-Z, or if not, Jay-Z bought it. But
the green sapphire.
yeah, it's tough to know what's going to happen in the future, because unless it's tied to somebody majorly significant, then how the heck are you going to put really a value to that? I'm just being honest with you. Kevin O'Leary is a special guy, but if it was a piece unique Rolex made for Paul Newman,
Yeah, that would be crazy.
something like that, I wouldn't doubt that, 30 years from now, a piece unique made for Mark Wahlberg maybe perhaps will why? Because someone like Mark Wahlberg has made a lot of impressions in people's lives with his video, with his movies and
Super
stuff like that.
influential in the watch
Yeah,
world.
no, in the movies, anybody has seen a movie from Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it so much more powerful. So anyways, I'm wondering what's going to happen this year with watches and wonders. Of course, there's going to be a couple badass watches, or several badass watches. And at some point, I will plan ahead between running a business and seeing my clients, and I will make it out there. But it seems to be like right before I even notice, we're right back at Watches and Wonders again. But that's pretty much all we got. Anything else you want to add in there, Keon? Anything we missed?
Nah, I think we covered everything.
Yeah. Tip your bartenders, tip your valet guys, tip your Grubhub or Uber Eats guys.
Yeah, hopefully they won't eat.
Just remember that, people are out there working. But anyway, stay positive out there. Keep collecting watches. I'm going to probably do a little bit more and dabble a bit more into the vintage. And you're going to come with me on that journey as we, make some good mistakes and some bad mistakes.
Hopefully, not too many.
Oh, hopefully no mistakes,
Yeah,
but in the vintage world, mistakes can happen. And I think if you have the right people around you, you can be, guided through that haunted house accordingly. So feel free to comment below on this video. And if you liked it, like and share it. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Peace.
Just kidding. Subscribe.